Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back. In this video, we are looking at the MLB slate for Friday. We have 14 games today, starting at 7 o'clock. So a lot to touch on. A couple of these games could get rained out, so we'll have to could be looking at like a 12-game slate. But let's go ahead and get started with it. So as always, appreciate if you guys hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and let's get started with looking at the totals here. So a couple of teams in really good spots. We have the Yankees against Patrick Corbin, who has looked like a completely different pitcher this year. He's getting absolutely lit up by right-handed bats, giving up a 600-plus slugging against them. All of his home runs have come against righties, and this Yankees team hits lefties well. And Giancarlo Stanton is the hottest hitter on the planet right now. Batting average for Stanton is up to over 310. He has home runs in 3 straight games, had a 3-hit game, 4-hit game, 3-hit game recently. He's just been on another level. So you got to look at the Yankee stack. I think they'll be able to at least hit a couple of home runs off of Corbin, given the ballpark and the way Corbin has pitched this season. Not been very good. He's given up home runs in every start except for one against the Cardinals. And he's given up 7 bombs in just 23 innings. Not very good. He's also walking a ton. So I do think the Yankee stack looks like one of the better ones on the slate. And then the other stack that I really like is the Twins stack facing off against Skubal, a lefty. We get a lot of good hitters on this Twins team against lefties. We have Garver. He's expensive, but we have Garlick, cheap outfielder. You have Cruz, one of the best lefty hitters in baseball. We have Donaldson, Buxton, might not play today. If he plays, that stack just looks even better. If he's out, could get another value hitter in there, so it's not the end of the world. And then you have a cheap bottom of the order with Sano and Kepler. So Twins, Yankees are my 2 top stacks. I think the White Sox look pretty appealing against Keller. Has not been good this year. Their lineup is missing a couple of their bats. With Jimenez is almost out for almost the whole year, and then they just lost Robert for like a couple of months. So a couple of their better hitters are not in this lineup. They still got a couple of powerful bats like Moncada and Abreu that we can look to, and Tim Anderson. And then I think some people might go to the Astros. I mean, Maldonado as a 2K catcher looks very good as just a guy that allows you to pay up for some other bats. I would go to him in terms of catching options. And then the Dodgers have a high total today. They're pretty expensive, like 61 for Turner is not something I'll get to. So they are probably going to be tough for me to get to at least. And that's kind of it for stacking-wise. In terms of pitching, you can go kind of in the mid-range if you wanted to. Like Carlos Rodon looks to be one of the most talented pitchers on the slate. You have Blake Snell, but Giants bats are been pretty good this year, and they don't strike out a ton, and they are actually good against lefties. I'd rather go Rodon instead of Snell, but I might as well just save some more money and go in the 8K range where you have Zach Gallen, who gives you a lot of strikeout upside. We have Rogers against this banged-up Milwaukee team. Missing, I believe Kane is not in this, not going to be, or he could return. I think he got the day off yesterday, but they're missing Yelich, and you're going to see at least a couple of lefties in this lineup, probably 4 lefties. So that's a good spot for Rogers. Right out of the gate, he's pitching at home where he's been very good this year, and he did dominate this team already once. I'm going to go with him as a SP1 option. And then as your SP2, I think you can go with a couple of guys. You can go up to like a Gallon. You can go with a Tyon after he pitched very well last game, and he's starting to look a lot better. He's still not going like super deep into games, but I think maybe they push him to mid 80s in this one. I still think the price tag is good enough. The Nats have about under a 4-run total, 3.8, so we definitely can go to him as an SP2 option. And then you could also go all the way down if you wanted to take a shot on like a Foltzy, just because he gives you some strikeout upside. I wouldn't hate that if you wanted to just spend up for some more stacks. And then Shoemaker's been all over the place. He did have his one good start this year did come against this Tigers team opening day, if that makes you feel any way about him. But he is very risky because he can get blown up just like everybody. So these are the 2 pitchers. I feel very good about them. And then in terms of getting in my favorite stacks, start in the outfield with Kyle Garlick just because he's super affordable. He hits lefties well. He should be batting like they batted him clean up last time they faced off against a lefty. So I feel like he should be at least in the middle of the lineup. He gives you some pop on the season. Doesn't have a home run yet, but hits some extra base hits. And at 26, you just need a couple of hits. Might maybe get some RBI opportunities, get some runs scored. He should be able to hit value pretty easily. And then it's going to be tough not to play Giancarlo Stanton, given the way he's been playing against a lefty. He's still pretty appropriately priced at only $5,100. I mean, they have like David Peralta, more expensive than him, lefty, similarly priced to guys like Ozuna. And then you have a couple of guys cheaper than him that look fine, but I really like Stanton, the way he's been hitting the ball at home. Just been on another level right now, batting .500 in his last 10 games with 4 home runs. I will continue to rock with him against a lefty. And then we can go to some other spots here. We'll start off first base. First base, you can go down here or you can go up for a DJ LeMahieu if you wanted to, 52. He also hits lefties well. You can go to Abreu also at $5,200. And then we do have some decent value here. It's coming off of some like one-off plays. You could, if you're stacking the Twins, Sano looks fine. But in terms of if you want to do a one-off, I think you can go to a Yandy Diaz against a lefty. He hits lefties well. He's only like only $2,900 against Manea, who has some talent, but he also gives up runs, gives up some home runs. So I definitely think Diaz could be a candidate if you needed a cheap first base option. At second base, I like LeMahieu as a pay-up against a lefty. I like going down a bit to, I think Polanco's at this position. He's $4,900. He's been hitting the ball better, somewhat expensive, so you can also go down. If you wanted to even cheaper, you have a Jonathan VR at $3,500. If you wanted to go to him against Zach Gallen, you have Cronenworth, only $3,500. You have Brousseau, also good against lefties, only $3,300. And then if Nick Madrigal does bat second in this lineup, he would look like a good value play at only $3,000. And then Fletcher bats leadoff against lefties. He doesn't have power, but he probably will get on base at least once or twice. Does have a little bit of speed. And then Urias is a good pitcher, but you could look to him against a righty. But Madrigal is probably the better value play. And then I would look to like a Brousseau just with against a lefty with some pop. And then third base here, I'm not going to pay $61 for Justin Turner. He's not facing off against a lefty who's a lot better against. And then I'd rather go down to like a Josh Donaldson, save $1,000, like the Twin stack a bunch. If we do get Urshela in the lineup, he's only $4,200. He's been hitting the ball well. You have Matt Chapman against a lefty at $4,300. He looks good. And then you can go down here for like a Hunter Dozier. It's a tough matchup, but he's been hitting the ball really well. And baseball, you want to go with some hot hitters. He's hot. He could go with as a one-off play. Brousseau is down here. Longoria against a lefty. He looks okay as well, although I do love Blake Snell. And then if you can go down to like a Yandy Diaz as a pure punt play at only $2,900. And then as shortstop here, we can go with a couple of options. You can go down to a Polanco at $49. You can go all the way up for like a Corey Seager or a Tim Anderson or even a Tatis. And then you can go with, if you're looking to stack a couple of teams here, we have Torres at $4,600. He looks pretty good. Still doesn't have a home run yet this season. It was a lot better against lefties in years past, so I would probably still go with him in part of your stacks. But right now, I think I might as well try to go up for like if I could go up to like one of these more powerful bats, I would do that. So filling out the rest of the core plays, I'm going to go with DJ LeMahieu just because he bats leadoff. He hits the ball well against lefties. Probably play him at like second base, I would say. First base, I think you can go to some other options, but second base isn't particularly deep, so I feel good about going LeMahieu here. He's been hitting the ball well recently. He does have some pop, doesn't strike out much, and then I do love the matchup against Corbin. And then the last guy I would have here is probably third base option. Do my best to get to like a Josh Donaldson at $5,100. Going with a couple of cheaper pitchers allows you to do that. And then I feel good about just stacking up the Yankees today and stacking up the Twins. And then going with a couple of one-offs if I need to, just in terms of value. So that's it for DraftKings. Let's take a look at FanDuel. Okay, on FanDuel here, pitching-wise, you can go all the way up for Carlos Rodon if you wanted to. He's 11-2. I probably like Trevor Rogers similarly for $800 cheaper. He gives you strikeout upside. He goes deep into games. And I think you have enough value that you can pay up for a pitcher. So FanDuel, I usually like to pay up for at least my SP2 for my SP1 if I can. Tyon is cheap here. There's a chance he only goes like 80, 85 pitches. So that definitely hurts his upside, but he can also get you a lot of strikeouts when he's out there. So if you needed to pay up for an expensive stack, you definitely can go with Tyon. And then those are like the two that I'm looking at, or three. You can throw Rodon in the mix. I don't really feel like I need to go to anybody else. I think Rogers will kind of get the job done. I don't feel good about going to anybody that's cheaper than Tyon here, unless you wanted to take a shot on Zach Plesac. But I feel pretty good about going Rogers. And that the reason is that the twin stack is very affordable on FanDuel. At least a couple of hitters like catcher, first base. You have Mitch Garver, who hits lefties very well. At only $2,700, he's going to bat like fourth or fifth in the lineup here. You have Kyle Garlick, min-priced outfielder at only $2,000. He looks like an easy guy to get to as part of your stacks, especially if he bats cleanup. And then like Cruz is still pretty inexpensive. He's only like $3,900 to throw him in the mix. But then on part of the Yankee stack, it's Giancarlo Stanton at only $38. He's not overly priced on FanDuel. And then you have like a DJ LeMahieu, who's only $3,200. He gives you a lot of upside at the position in terms of just getting on base, getting hits, and then probably will get some RBI opportunities today or get some runs scored. So Twins and Yankee stack it is. Still leaves you with over 3,000 left, even going up for Rogers. So that is kind of what I like to do on FanDuel. And that's pretty much it for the video. So thank you guys for watching. Best of luck tonight, and stay tuned for the NBA video that'll be out soon.